On paper, these stories look unrelated. Oracle torching $10 billion on data centers, Nvidia chips getting smuggled into China, and OpenAI dropping a new agent model that eats white-collar work for breakfast. But they are all the same story. The cost of intelligence is collapsing, and the cost of running it is blowing up balance sheets and foreign policy at the same time. Hey friend, it is Friday, December the 12th, 2025. The theme today is simple to say and painful to fund. AI is moving from science project to national infrastructure. Let me start with Oracle. Oracle's stock dropped 11% after they burned about $10 billion on data centers for AI clients like OpenAI. Wall Street called it reckless. I call it the entry fee. Here is the thing. If you want to sell serious AI cloud in 2026, you either spend like this now or you are a reseller forever. For founders, this shifts the ground under your feet. If you are building on Oracle or any second tier cloud, you are getting subsidized by their panic. Expect sweetheart credits, custom hardware promises, and aggressive rev share deals. You should treat that as a 3 to 5 year window, not a permanent discount. If you are building infra yourself, this is the warning label. Even a giant like Oracle has to explain the cash burn to angry investors. You will not get a free pass raising hundreds of millions for AI data centers without a very specific path to high margin workloads. While public markets are freaking out about capex, the underground market is telling you something else. DeepSeek is reportedly smuggling Nvidia's latest chips into China to what insiders are calling phantom data centers. That is not a crypto scam. That is enterprise compute off the books. Using my usual filter here, the signal is that demand for top-tier AI hardware in China is so intense that people are willing to run full black market logistics operations. The noise is the political talking points about tight export controls. Those controls clearly leak. The second order effect is harsher. Any assumption that Western models and hardware will be meaningfully throttled inside China is fantasy. For you, that has two concrete impacts. First, if your moat story is we have better models because China is stuck on old chips, you need a new deck. Second, security and compliance products around AI are underpriced. If frontier chips already live in gray data centers, the next wave is gray model hosting and gray agent platforms. That is a real category. Let me pull this back to the agent story because this is where the money is. OpenAI launched GPT 5.2, aimed squarely at professional knowledge work and agents. It beats human experts in 44 occupations, generates images, and scored over 90% on ARC AGI with a huge efficiency gain versus last year. In plain English, your AI assistant is now credible as the first engineer, first analyst, or first paralegal on a project. For startups, the effect is blunt. Headcount plans should assume one senior plus an agent, not one senior plus two juniors. Process design should treat the model as the default doer and humans as editors and exception handlers. And if your product is just we wrap a model with a chat UI, you have about 6 months to grow an actual moat. Today's quote of the day is, "Spatial intelligence is AI's next frontier. AI needs to connect with the physical world, moving beyond LLMs." That is Fei Li. I like this because it quietly kills the pure text hype. If your long-term plan does not interact with the physical world, you are probably building an expensive feature. You can see that tension everywhere else today. Pinterest CEO says they are cutting AI model costs by roughly 90% with open source. That is the flip side of Oracle. Some companies are eating the infra bill, others are squeezing it with cheaper models and clever orchestration. If you're spending like Pinterest used to, your board deck will age poorly. At the same time, the US just set a single national AI regulation through executive order to stop 50 different state rules. That is very good news if you sell into enterprises. One regulatory target means you can actually ship instead of running legal reviews for each zip code. And you have OpenAI teaming up with Disney to feed Sora into content workflows. When the world's most protective IP shop lets a video model touch Mickey, that is your sign that synthetic media is moving from toy to default. I will leave you with this. If AI is becoming national infrastructure, are you building a product that rides on top of that grid? Or are you accidentally signing up to build the grid itself? Have a tip or a story I should cover? Send it my way. I am Teng Yan. This is Chain of Thought. Cheers, and I will see you tomorrow.